The purpose of the documentary film assignment is to first find a documentary that contains subject matter that you are interested in pursuing. You may or may not agree with the documentary. In any case, you are going to write some distinct paragraph content that will enlighten you to the ways of researching and checking the bias of a particular opinion. Let's go through those step-by-step instructions together. First, you will find a film that you enjoy. I've indicated 5 to 7 years. I think that current documentaries are important. Doesn't mean that you can't use one from before, but you're going to have a hard time finding current, relevant, connected articles about that activity. So watch the documentary. Make sure that you have the ability to stream the video so that you can see timestamps where you will be able to quote the documentary and show the timestamp. I'll show you that down a little bit down the page. Every documentary, every story, every fictional film, every book, every poem, every single thing you are ever exposed to in this world will show a bias. I know. I've tried to find it myself, to find something that is just definitive information, and yet everything contains bias. Make sure you go back and study that page on bias that was presented to you earlier in the course. Now you're going to start the document that you're going to write, and you're going to include the title. Because this is a documentary, you may need to find a title that contains words. As you know from the qualitative analysis, documentary or any kind of title image needs to be free of all words, all numbers, and so forth. However, in a documentary, sometimes you will not be able to avoid that, as is this example here with March for Our Lives. Now, you're going to include an image that represents the film subject matter. Now, you're going to write one paragraph that summarizes the documentary in your own words. You will include 1 to 3 cited quotes from the documentary. So you're going to have 8 to 9 sentences that include a thesis statement. So you want to study those pages on thesis statements. And then you're going to write another paragraph that explains the bias of this documentary. You're going to use 2 to 3 cited quotes from the documentary, as well as any additional source. Now, I've given you an example here. Let's look at the example that I've shown. The Barbie First documentary claims that girls in 2022, aged 1 through 4 years old, are already showing signs of body dysmorphia from comparing themselves to a Barbie doll. And that is the timestamp from the video. So that would take place 3 minutes and 45 seconds into that video. I checked this position and discovered that a study conducted in 2021 using a field test group of 45 girls aged 1 to 4 found that 98% of the girls presented with a choice between a Barbie doll and My Little Pony rejected Barbie. And now I show where that information can be found. The reader can go immediately to the work cited and find the citation for that particular study. Now I show a second one. You're required to do 1, but I'm showing you 2 just so you can get a variety. In addition, another study conducted in 2020. Remember, if I showed a study that was way beyond 2020, like 2017, 2016, I wouldn't be able to argue the statement that girls in 2022. I'm going back to 2020, and that's acceptable, because girls don't change that much in 2 years. By American Psychology Today, asked 100 young girls aged 3 to 4 to make a choice. The girls were given a Barbie doll and a strawberry shortcake doll. The results showed that 92% of the girls chose strawberry shortcake. And then there's that full citation. What I did is, because I mentioned American Psychology Today earlier in the sentence, and this is not a title, this is an organization. So that's why this is not punctuated with italics. So at the end of the quote, just to make sure that the reader knows where they can find that citation, I just shorten it to APT study. Now, they know what APT is because I literally showed it to them in the written out words. The idea, remember, always keep the reader engaged. Don't make the reader have to stop and read a bunch of words. Never include a URL. Just make sure the reader has information about where the information was obtained and where they can go in the actual citations to find that information. These studies draw the connection between body dysmorphia in girls aged 1 to 4. These studies make me question the connection between body dysmorphia in girls 1 to 4. If such problems do exist, may not necessarily be a product of the Barbie doll image. Oops, that's a problem sentence, isn't it? I'm going to go back and fix that sentence now that I've edited and read it. Okay, thank goodness for editing. If such problems do exist, they may not necessarily be a product of the Barbie doll image. The important thing is that I'm simply questioning the documentary. I'm not making a statement that says this documentary is incorrect, it's wrong, it's terrible, it's awful. I'm just saying that I'm questioning that statement after having researched a few studies that were conducted. Not blog opinions, not some sort of a wiki answer, but an actual study that was conducted that makes me question that information. Now, because my reader may not know the difference between a Barbie doll and a strawberry shortcake, I'm going to put them both in there. I did not include an image of the My Little Pony, but I could. And if I was writing a bigger paper, I would want to do that because I don't want the reader to think, what's a My Little Pony? The reason I didn't include that is because I think it's self-explanatory. My Little Pony is a little pony, but I could do that, and you would not be wrong to do that. Next, you're going to write one paragraph about one opposing view on the subject. Now, the information that I mentioned here questions this. So what I want to do is I want to look up information about the Barbie First documentary, and I will hope to find a critic who responded to this documentary claiming that the documentary was wrong, or if it's a documentary that I agree with, when I type in that documentary name in Google, I will find articles where people agree with that. I just need one article, I just need one quote from somebody in a position of authority, not a blog, but an actual critic who agrees or disagrees with my position, with the opposing view of the subject. So it should be about 700,000 words. Include a works cited page that is going to include a citation from the film, include the citation from the article and review. At least one citation of each is required. You may have more. For this assignment, I have included links to information that has been presented in the course that will help you. Make sure your works cited looks exactly like this. This shows you how to cite sources in the essay, and there are these instructions. Carry on, you're going to do great. I can't wait to see what interests you.